Today, 1 in 4 adults 65 and older are still in the workforce, and that number seems to be growing. Americans as a whole have not saved enough for retirement, but it doesn't have to be this way. Today, we'll be discussing how you can avoid this situation by investing into assets that provide cash flow and ultimately growing your net worth. Hey House Stackers, welcome to episode 28 of the Stacking Houses podcast, where we're helping working professionals create a solid plan B, a side hustle of passive streams of income through real estate investing. I'm your host, Damon Santamaria, and my goal for each show is to provide you with some practical and inspiring information so that you can create a solid financial plan for yourself. So to help you on your journey, I want to give you our beginner's guide to getting started in real estate by outlining all the key steps that investors need to take to acquire your first property. And you can pick this up simply by going to stackinghouses.com/beginner, all lowercase. And while you're there, you can check out our blog, my free book, as well as a training on where Jim and I are finding great deals in today's landscape. So we're now coming up on the end of the year, and as real estate investors, it's time to take inventory of where we're at. This is also a time of year where goal setting begins, and for me, an important part of tracking my progress is reviewing my net worth. So let's discuss why it's important to track this metric and what you can do to increase your net worth over time. So it's now the holidays, and for many of us, it's our downtime and perhaps a chance to reflect on the prior year and our progress over 2021. It's also a time of year where I like to establish my New Year's goals and create a list of things that I want to accomplish over the next 12 months. So these goals may include financial goals, personal goals like exercising and always losing weight, and then of course some family-related goals. But one financial metric that I love to track is my personal net worth. And net worth is not only it's not only the financial metric that I measure. I also include overall income, revenue as it relates to the real estate business, profit for the real estate business, and of course our family's overall investments, which include our stock and mutual fund portfolios and how they've performed over the year. But I think the overall net worth of an individual takes into account several factors, which include a culmination of how much someone has saved over their adult working career, and it compares your overall assets versus your liabilities. And as I mentioned in episode 27 of the podcast, I like to use an online tool called Mint. And what I really like about Mint is that all of the analytics of your financial accounts are consolidated into one online dashboard. And this includes all of your cash, your credit card debt, any types of loans you may have, as well as all of your financial accounts related to mutual funds, 401ks, and then of course your real estate holdings as well. Additionally, there are some great analytic tools that allow you to budget for spending, set saving goals, increase your credit score, track your income, assets, debt, and then of course my favorite, which is net worth. And I've been using Mint for the last 10 years, and I started when I was age 35, and what I find incredibly inspirational is that when I look back over that time frame, how my assets and the debt related to financing those assets and my net worth have steadily increased. And ever since entering the workforce, I've met with several financial planners, and typically they pull out all kinds of charts and graphs showing how your investments will perform over time. And invariably, they show the last 10 or 15 years of a typical person's net worth and how it tends to hockey stick straight up with great financial gains as a result of cumulative returns and compounding interest. And I always thought it was pie-in-the-sky manipulation because these guys are, they're salespeople trying to sell you financial products, et cetera, and, they make a commission off of whatever they sell. But I'm here to tell you that it's absolutely true. That hockey stick effect is what I'm referring to. And I'm currently looking at the first 5 years of my Mint account, years 35 to 40, where my net worth basically doubled from roughly $250,000 up to $500,000. But then the next 5 years, from age 40 to 45, my net worth went up from $500,000 to $2.7 million in the same amount of time. So the first 5 years, I basically 2x'd my return. And then the second 5 years, it went up 5.5 times. Now, this includes both our Wall Street investments as well as our real estate holdings. So now, this is a good amount of money, and we are extremely blessed. However, I don't say all of this to be braggadocious. Many of you have been listening to me for a while know I'm not trying to brag here. In fact, I'm just a baby millionaire. There are certainly a lot more investors out there that are absolutely killing it, but I say this to make the point that our net worth is basically 10 times what it was from 10 years ago. And hopefully in the next 10 years, it'll be 10 times of what it is today. And that would be awesome because we'd have a net worth of $27 million by the age of 55. So the goal here is to start early and continuously add income-producing assets to your portfolio to increase your chances of becoming financially independent. And now I'm going to actually retell the story that I originally heard from Tony Robbins years ago, and it's the story of two twin brothers. So the first brother we'll name Tom, and Tom starts investing when he's 20, and he puts in $4,000 a year into an account for the next 20 years, and then he stops investing at the age of 40. And then he never adds any more contributions to his account. And in a moment here, we'll see what Tom has at the age of 65. But then we also have his brother, his twin brother, we'll name Jerry, and Jerry starts investing at the age of 40 and continues to invest year after year until he's 65. So Jerry actually invests 5 more years than the first brother, Tom. So Tom, the first brother, he's always ahead of his brother Jerry because he started so much earlier. But you already knew that, right? So the question is, how much more? So assuming all the variables remain the same for both brothers, like rate of return, etc., Tom actually has 600% more money. Not 20%, not 50%, 600% more money. So Tom ends up with $2.5 million at the age of 65, whereas Jerry ends up with only $400,000. So this is the power of compounding interest, and it can have a dramatic effect of how and when you're able to retire. So the moral of the story is to invest as soon as you can and stay the course. So the question is, how do you track your net worth? Is it on a spreadsheet? Is it on something like mint.com? No matter how you do it, you just need to do it. And, the other question is how do you compare to others in your same age group? Well, according to CNBC, the median net worth for a person under 35 is about $14,000, but the average net worth is right around $76,000. And so to refresh your memory on high school math, the median is the middle number, while the average takes into account much higher outliers into the equation. So let's fast forward to the age group that I'm in, the age group of 45 to 54. The median net worth for this group is $168,000, while the average is $833,000. A huge delta there. The $833,000 may seem high, but again, there's probably 1% of this group that have an extremely high net worth, pushing the average up, and therefore, I believe the median figure of 168 is much more telling. And in this group, you're probably trying to finish your financial puzzle and really prepare for retirement. Maybe you're even playing catch up. But I can't help to think that if you only have a couple of $100,000, it's probably not going to get you very far in retirement. We are incredibly underfunded when it comes to retirement and overall net worth in this country. Today, we're seeing so many would-be retirees continue to work well past the age of 65 simply because they can't afford to retire. So, how does this all relate to real estate investing? Well, it depends on a number of different factors. However, let's keep with the theme of age. So, if you're in your 20s, your 30s, or even in your 40s, there's still a good amount of runway, and you have the luxury of having time on your side. You can make it through more market cycles without jeopardizing your nest eggs. And that's plural, and it's plural on purpose because hopefully you have a well-diversified portfolio of different accounts and investments and real estate properties. But if you're older, you have less time, but hopefully more experience and wisdom on your side, but you do need to double down and accelerate your investing into cash flowing investments to help supplement your Social Security. But for either situation, owning and controlling real estate can have an incredible impact on your retirement years. If you're in your 20s or your 30s, you may not care so much about cash flow because you can hold that property for the next several decades and let the mortgage pay down and appreciation be your key to success. But if you're a bit older or retired like me, monthly cash flow will allow you to pay your bills well past your retirement date. So, in closing, you want to increase your net worth to be able to fund your retirement, and hopefully there are a number of assets that cash flow well beyond your retirement age. So, hopefully this has been helpful because deciding when and where to invest is a big decision that can affect your overall net worth. And if you're seriously considering investing in yourself, I congratulate you. Education is the first step in becoming a true professional. And I highly encourage you to sign up for Stacking Houses Academy, where you can learn the step-by-step process that Jim and I each took to grow our multi-million-dollar businesses. And here's the best part. Today through the end of the year, we're having a holiday sale where you can get Stacking Houses Academy for 50% off the retail price of $997, which is only $497. And Jim and I really want you to go into the new year ready to make a real impact. So go check that out at stackinghouses.com. And if you liked what you heard today, I would appreciate a like, a share, or a review on the platform that you're listening on because it really does help some of us little guys that are just getting started on our podcasting journey. And it also helps other house stackers find our great content as well. And in closing, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I want to give you our beginner's guide to getting started in real estate, which outlines all of the key steps that investors need to take in order to acquire your first property. And you can pick this up simply by going to stackinghouses.com/beginner. And until next time, happy investing, my friends.